I wanted to be transparent and reflecting in myself to encourage my viewers to be transparent and reflecting on themselves. And I knew that this topic is very, very common. So, like, even when I looked up the statistics, it was like 1 in every 5 females have been molested. And even as far as boys go, 1 in every 20 boys, that's a lot. So, one, I wanted to talk about a topic that is taboo. Nobody wants to say out loud. Nobody wants to discuss it. And 2, just to foster an environment of self-reflection and to start seeing how those things actually connect. You know, in today, like that, we talking about when I was like 6 or 7, and I can like really tell you at 33 how that might have affected me. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, I chose that specific topic for a reason. But what's happening is so many people got so many questions. I had to like really take myself back to how I felt at that time, so I can discuss it like from an authentic place. And oh my goodness, I got so emotional, like to the point where I'm waking up seeing Daddy Brooks on top of me. And I like been so past that, where I was like, oh my goodness, I can just see why people kind of like keep stuff to themselves, because it's heavy. And it's like once it start coming up, you start thinking of, reliving the emotions and everything that you had before. Now I'm not gonna cry, but it is definitely an emotional subject for me, So I just one of the questions was, did anybody tell me to tell somebody if somebody touched me? And it was like, yeah, I'm sure. I actually think that Daddy Brick started really early with me, so I actually think that it was after he already was touching me, but somebody advised me not to touch them. But to give you some background, my father was not in the picture. Daddy Brooks this was his second marriage, and he kind of came in to give my mama some, like he was like her assistant, so he provided some structure, and then he also was like a volunteer at my school, so he would take me to school, and we would come home together. He would be at school all day, so like for real, when Daddy Brooks died, they had a poster of Daddy Brooks in the office, a life-size poster of Daddy Brooks in the office. So he was really involved in my life. So he had a lot of time with me, just one-on-one with me. You know what I mean? So somebody told me that if somebody touching me in inappropriate places, I should tell. But somebody has to understand everybody has to understand that Daddy Brooks was everybody's knight in shining armor. They were just so happy that Daddy Brooks came in and took over being my daddy and took over being a husband and just was like offered stability to us. They was just so happy. Like I can remember my aunties being so grateful for Daddy Brooks and saying that to me. So I'm not about to go behind them praising him to say who he was. So that's how I ended up not saying it. Like I don't think that my sisters care. I don't think that my siblings care for him. Like, oh yeah, big ups to Daddy Brooks, but just like, well, at least he good to my little sister, and at least he good to my mama. So I wasn't about to like even tarnish that. Like it was almost something that a gift. He was something like a gift to everybody, and I wasn't about to shit on that gift.
Basically,
I wasn't prepared to do that at like 6 or 7.
And you probably didn't know how.
Exactly. I just wasn't willing to break silence and just be uncomfortable like that. I just, I wasn't ready to do that. And then you have to understand, when you do break silence, you're about to get asked a lot of questions. Like they gonna want to know, where did he touch you? How did he touch you? Did you have on clothes? Did you not have on clothes? Was your mama here? This. You're gonna have to go through a whole lot of interrogation. And you gotta be strong enough in that space to even just stand up and be able to answer all of those questions. It's like being molested again.
Right.
Like once you tell the truth and now you gotta relive it because you gotta tell the facts of it, it's hard to do. So you just want to keep it to yourself.
Right.
That another thing is I'm trying to think of some of the questions, because basically a lot of people are offended and upset because Daddy Brooks is now dead, and people want their revenge. To touch me is to just like kind of offend a lot of people in a lot of ways. So I feel so bad, but I feel like I had had to say my truth because so many people is dealing with their truth. And I understand, like, the people who are, like, put on the earth to protect me feel like they was cheated. Like, now it's like, you just told me that this happened to you, and I can't do anything to fix it. Mm-hmm. But that's one of the things that even if they would have smashed Jetty Brooks' face in, it still wouldn't have changed
what
how
happened.
Right, it wouldn't have changed what happened, and it wouldn't have changed the effects on me. Because now I'm like looking it up, and people actually refer to molestation and childhood abuse as soul murderers, because it actually takes away your innocence. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It could affect your ego, your development, and how you look at things. You gotta remember, most of the time, abuse comes from either somebody of authority that was supposed to stop him, that was supposed to protect you. Mm-hmm. So now it's telling you that even the people that's put here on earth to protect you and to teach you and to guide you can be the very people that hurt you. You know what I mean? And then you don't necessarily at that age want to sever that relationship and all the benefits that you might have gotten from that. Like having somebody take me to school and be there for me in different ways. You know, I necessarily wasn't ready to forfeit all of that either. It's just a complex situation. It's always a complex situation for any child that's dealing with it, and now any adult that's dealing with the consequences of it. Cause it's so much shame that go with it. Like, say for instance, you not telling people that it was happening to you. You have to understand it's gonna be shame in that. Mm-hmm. You didn't even stand up for yourself. And then I was talking to my niece, and my niece is like, well, you never told me that happened, right? But I know when they come to me, I couldn't talk to a man, or they couldn't pick me up, or like you was like a pit bull. So now I'm like listening to her, and I'm like, well, why was I able to defend her like that? Like, why was I able to, you know?
I think you was able to defend her because you was going through your own stuff, and you probably didn't want nobody to touch her in that same way.
Right, so why not stand up for myself?
It was harder.
Like, I don't understand that. That pisses me off, actually. So
you gotta remember, you're 6.
Right, but I'm 6 and strong enough to be like, nah, sit down, get down, don't talk to him. I'm able to say that, and I'm able to look at you and until you don't touch my niece, but I can't stand up for myself. So I have an issue with that. I have an issue with even being perceived as fast, and anything that I might have done to let this be okay. I had an issue with that. Let me be clear, though, because one of the things was, now that I realized that this happened to me and it hurt me and it has affected me, because now it could affect you in a whole lot of ways, honey. But I don't let people exert power over me. I get real buck if you try to exert any power over me or put me in a compromising situation. And it doesn't matter if you love me and I love you, I will cut you down. And I know that is partly from that.
But this is probably another reason why you like to be in control of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
So being able to control the situation, being able to know what's about to happen. No, this is not about to happen. This is about to happen.
Yes, I am not your victim, because I'm not Daddy Brooks' victim anymore. I'm not anybody's victim. And what they say is basically, if sometimes you are not responsible for your wounds, but you are responsible for your healing. One of the other questions for me was that how did I start to heal? And I want to tell anybody that has been molested and still dealing with the shame and the guilt of it, tell somebody with a compassionate ear. Shame cannot live in the same place that compassion is. If you have a person that is compassionate and empathy and empathize with you, it just lifts the burden up so much. Like, just get it out. Say it. It happened. Say it. If it's your mama, husband, and they still with that person, say it. Say it out loud. Make everybody at the table deal with it, and not just you by yourself. Because what happens is you feel all this shame and all this guilt and all this dirt on you, and it just get bigger and it just get bigger, because in your head it makes everything bigger until you actually say it out loud when that person tells you it's okay. Believe me, somebody telling you that it's okay and it's not your fault, it's something that you need to hear. Even if your rational person can tell that to you, you still need to hear it from a second person. I'm telling you, it's so effective, it's so therapeutic. But then not only that, I do think that I healed too because, like my husband said, I got a way of like removing things that don't make me happy. Like if I have a picture in my head of what things are supposed to be, if this sad feeling is not working with my picture of myself, then I gotta put it in a box and kind of throw it out the window mentally. But I also had to just start talking to myself in more compassionate way. Like that happened to me. It wasn't my fault. He was just nasty. Like that was just him, and I can't let him dictate the rest of my life. I can't let him affect me for the rest of my life. I don't even want to give him that much power. I don't even want to give the scenario that much power. And I also do things like counterfacts. So it was horrible that he did that, but I lived. I didn't become pregnant. He didn't penetrate me. Like, I always give myself a worst case scenario, if you will. Mm-hmm. And for everybody, it's always that you can create a worst case scenario in your head to make yourself feel better about that particular situation. But in that sense, you can kind of move forward from your affliction or whatever happened to you. But you definitely have to come to ease with it. You have to come to an understanding with it and let it go. Don't allow that perpetrator, that specific perpetrator, to just run your whole life for the rest of your life. And that's it. Like, I'm done with shame. I'm done with guilt from anything that Daddy Brooks ever did to me. And that's point blank, period.